Welcome to Facebook for the Blind, your look at the downfall of Western civilization through the best memes we can find each week. Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, welcome to another edition of Facebook for the Blind, a show for the visually and Facebook impaired. I am your never humble host, Eric, joined by my beautiful co-host, Quiet Michael Labune.
That's me, Eric.
And Brain coming in from Oakland, Damage. They have some very funny memes for you, but first, a patented, copyrighted, absolutely essential element of every episode of Facebook for the Blind. You know it, you love it. You know what I'm talking about? I think you do. I'm talking about
What are you talking about?
The depressing news.
We're number one. We're number one in that.
Yeah, that share didn't work at all. We're gonna fix that one in post. We're gonna fix that one in post. Yeah. So, and
Hey, Eric, can you play a real long
story? Like that, right? Cool. Today, what you're going to remember in news is that the Democrats have pounced on Arizona abortion ruling, says it could help them in November's election. But meanwhile, for the people of Arizona, they're just partying like it's 1899 or 1864, which is when the permit of enforcement law went into effect. And, you know, why, hey, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? Go back. So there you go. Also, the parents of a Michigan school shooter were sentenced, and that is just a first. It's the only reason I even bring that up. A school shooter and his parents go to jail for giving him a gun and bragging on social media. Progress. That's what counts as progress, guys. That's fun. Meanwhile, last week, of course, we had a magnitude 4.8 earthquake in the New Jersey and New York area. My brother in Long Island felt it. It was his first earthquake ever, so that was kind of fun. Also, there was an electric storm that shocked the Statue of Liberty. Some pretty incredible footage of lightning striking the Statue of Liberty. So all kinds of crazy fun, you know, weathery stuff going on. And then next, what else happened? There was some other cool stuff. Oh, that's right. There was this big eclipse thing. Holy crap, was that fun. And Illinois was in the path of the totality, and so was Indiana. I was going to drive over to Indianapolis, but instead we just kept going south because it looked like clouds. We ended up in Ina. It was great. Chow Lon No has reposted Paparina, says, lightning strike at the Statue of Liberty yesterday, an earthquake in New York, solar eclipse in a few days. This new Ghostbusters movie might be going a little too far in their marketing. Now, here's the weird one, man. New York Times PitchBot. And if you're not following New York Times PitchBot, you are missing out. The pitch is the Biden economy creating too many jobs? And that was posted April 5th, 2024. But, you know, fiction just creates reality because Yahoo Finance, this week in Bidenomics, too many jobs? Suck it, Rick. One of the funniest things to me, well, I don't know, funniest, but interesting things is that Biden told Netanyahu that future U.S. support depends on Israel protecting civilians in Gaza. Now, you might say to yourself, well, that seems like a perfectly normal thing to say. Yes, but it's the first time a president has ever said it to Israel. So that's pretty amazing. He urged an immediate ceasefire and he dangled the $14 billion in stuff that was promised to them and actually said, you know, all those arms that we're currently shipping you, we might bring them back. So breaking in some good news, Mercedes workers in Alabama, of all places, have stood up to form a union. So that vote is going through down in Alabama, and that is pretty cool. It's a Mercedes plant down there, 5,000 employees on the SUV line, including their best-selling GLE luxury SUV and the electric EQE SUV. How's that for a lot of letters? Next up, also apparently it's sparking protests in Finland. Massive union protests have led to business shutdowns and canceled flights. So solidarity with our Finnish brothers. I hope they get it done. Here's another weird one too. Biden teamed up with Bernie Sanders. You might remember Bernie Sanders as the, socialist. Well, Biden and Bernie have teamed up to promote lower healthcare costs, including for inhalers. So, you know, those little things you get for asthma and stuff. They want to cap those at a price just like $35 a month for insulin that they've capped. So that was really good news. I was thrilled to hear the Democrats have remembered that healthcare is the number one issue.
Rising stars. Bernie said Sanders and Joe Biden.
Right, exactly. Screaming up the charts. Meanwhile, in Republican government, South Carolina is mulling the mystery of where $1.8 billion in an account came from. We don't know why it's there. The governor says officials don't know how or when the money materialized in the state coffers or what it's for, which is pretty hilarious to me because, they're always describing Democrats as tax and spend. Apparently, Republicans are hoard and forget all about it. Kind of fun. Meanwhile, here's an interesting headline from boingboing.net with a picture of a guillotine. New study shows that literally every billionaire under 30 was born wealthy. Also, water is wet. I like to say it in the John Houseman voice. They made money the old-fashioned way. They inherited it.
Right.
Hey, in good news, global life expectancy has risen by 6.2 years after a drop in deaths from stroke, diarrhea, and respiratory infections. That's right. Global life expectancy has risen 6.2 years. But don't worry, Americans are still killing it. And by killing it, I mean decreasing their life span. The U.S. has lost nearly 2 decades of progress in life expectancy. We now live as long as we did back in 2000, and we actually went down in 2020 because, COVID and fentanyl and all the fun stuff that Americans like to do more than other countries. So, we could be living to 82, but probably going to kick it at about 78. So, hey, there you go. Eat your vegetables. Hey, it was a birthday for Max Headroom. I don't know if you guys probably even know about this, but Max Headroom, it ran April 4th, 1985, a movie called Max Headroom, 20 Minutes into the Future, and introduced the character of Max Headroom. And I know some of you are out there and you're saying to yourself, oh man, yeah, I gotta go back and watch that Max Headroom. No, you don't. Don't do it. Watch this. On Max Headroom, the most misunderstood joke on TV. Much better use of your time. Speaking of people that don't really exist on TV anymore, Dallas Yoakum. Here's a weird one. I was like, Dallas Yoakum? Who's that? That's Mrs. Pillow. You remember Mr. Pillow, the My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell? Turns out he was married once before, and I looked it up, and married 2013 to 2013. That is amazing. I mean, I don't want to laugh at somebody, but it's just like, this guy really does not know how to pick them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he does not know what horse to hitch his wagon to. Do you hear what I'm saying? I think it's hilarious. Anyway, so Dallas Yoakum, did you know that was like one of the Ms. Pillows? I don't know which one. I don't know what he's on right now, but that it's just funny to me. Okay, that's fine. In other news, welcome Lorna, by the way. We have here from friend of the show, Tom. Tomorrow in This Morning World, we have an 8-panel of This Modern World, and says, today on the Sunday Talking About Stuff show, we discuss the legacy of the late Joe Lieberman with last-minute guest no one told me about. Sparky T. Penguin, is it? That's right, Biff. And one thing you can definitely say about Joe Lieberman, he was a former United States senator who is no longer alive. Oh, and also, Americans would have had much better health insurance choices had he never been born. During Obamacare negotiations, he single-handedly killed the public option, which was intended as an affordable alternative to private insurance carriers. And in return, he did back a proposal to lower Medicare eligibility to 55, and then ultimately killed that as well. So if you're a freelancer or you lost your health insurance due to a layoff or a divorce, or especially if you're over 55, Joe Lieberman personally made your life much worse than it might have otherwise been. The talk show host is like, so you're saying you made a lasting impact on our nation? Well, that's one way of putting it. Joe Lieberman's dead, and I'm glad. Could have happened a lot sooner. It was really funny, too. A lot of people were just like, I remember that dino, and it was like, yeah, it's weird how we all knew that he was a piece of crap, except Al Gore. Anyway, sorry. I'm almost done here. Hey, in good news, the Trump bond filing was rejected over botched lawyering. How fun is that? So his lawyers couldn't do the paperwork right, and they botched it. Plus, remember that guy who backed Trump's bond? Hanky? Mr. Hanky? Remember Mr. Hanky? Well, he might not have the money. They basically don't seem to be able to locate all the money that he would need to back up that bond, and New York Attorney General Letitia James doesn't trust him. So They are still in proceedings to seize Trump Tower if he does not get his money together immediately. And fun fact that I found out, Don Hankey is also on the hook. Don Hankey and the former disgraced president could both owe the full amount of 175 million for Hankey and 364 million or 450 more million or $1 billion. Who cares? More money than we know about. Maybe he'll use his stock. No, DJT stock is crashing because it's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. Dan Rather broke this one. More people should know that the top Trump supporter, Super PAC, a donor, is also the top RFK Super PAC donor. Do you know that one? Isn't that fun? Most of the money going to these two guys is coming from a guy by the name of Tim Mellon. You know, like Mellon Bank or Carnegie Mellon. Yeah, Tim Mellon. Yeah. So he's putting a lot of money into RFK, hoping that it will, that third party candidacy will leech off some support from Biden. But the good news is that RFK is an anti-vaxxer nutcase, and he is pulling all the Q people away from Donnie. So it's going to be really weird, but they're both backed by the same money. Got 3-4 more here because we are at the heartwarming animal story portion of the show. I know you're saying to yourself, that's awesome. Well, cats with jobs, and if you're not following cats with jobs, I don't know where you're finding your jobs for your cats or your cats for your jobs. But they have a post from Sebastian who says, went with my partner upstate, and the Airbnb host cat took us for a guided hike along the Appalachian Trail. Apparently, this is what she does with every guest. She would complain when we took a wrong turn off the trail and knew the way back. Amazing cat. Would apocalypse with. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen of this show, I would apocalypse with you. Maybe not you, Lorna, but the rest of you, I would definitely apocalypse with. Oh, do we lose Lorna? Hey, here's some other good news. America suddenly might have a record number of bees. Do you know that? Yeah. Apparently, we do an incredible herd inventory every year. I didn't even know this, otherwise known as the Great American Llama Count. And it turns out that apparently llamas, ostriches, and emus have been collapsing in their populations in America. And the article opened with the question, what has happened to all the emus? And I don't know about the rest of the country, but here in East Central Illinois, the emus have all run away, we presume, to join the circus. Got about 2 more here because this is the best. Unfortunately, this is the most heartwarming animal story. That's right. Dolphins seem to use toxic pufferfish to get high. Dolphin experts have been deliberating, but the dolphins say the expert deliberate handling of a terrorized pufferfish implies that this is not the dolphin's first hallucinogenic rodeo. That's one of the best subtitles I've ever read. And that was your heart story. Oh, it's Lorene. Hey, how you doing? I'm sorry. I said I'm all for Klimt, and I'm blaming the apocalypse the other day. Yeah, total blackout of the Eclipse. The Eclipse is I'm all off. That was the news from Facebook for the Blind for April 9th, 2024. And now on to my beautiful co-host, Michael LeBune, for a nice long round 1.
All right, Eric, here comes round 1. Everything's all different for me today.
All right. For a second, I thought you were trying to make me feel better.
Did it work?
Yeah, a little bit.
Can you guys see it? No, not your feelings. Can you see the meme?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Here, I'm glad you're feeling better though. So here's a picture of a man in a winery, and he's doing the deep sniff that people do at wineries, and there's a woman there who works there, standing there watching him, and it says, "Me tasting the wine, notes of updog."
Oh God!
And the winemaker says, "That's vanilla." Me, okay. Oh wait, shit! Don't do that. Next, we have a 4-panel from the Daily Show with Jon Stewart. And this guy says, when I was a kid, I never liked Star Trek as a kid. It always felt too philosophical for me. And John Stewart replies, "The interesting thing to me was I stopped listening when you said you didn't like Star Trek." And then the final panel, he says, "I saw your mouth moving after that, so I'm assuming you apologized." I love this one from Midwest versus Everybody. It says, visiting the Midwest, y'all need anything? And there's a picture of a tornado, a big billboard that says hell is real, something that says visit our historic downtown, a quick trip at Menards, and just some fucking corn, a deer. It's just, yeah, it's just us. Oh, yeah, and a big ass tornado in the back. This is my favorite thing that happened this week. So, Dionne Warwick, friend of the show, just can't say enough about how much we love and adore and respect Dionne Warwick.
Oh yeah.
Who's retweeting this guy who says, "Can Dionne Warwick seat Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole to stop this infamous growling? They're both too relevant to be this chaotic. That's Drake behavior." Dionne Warwick retweets this and replies, "No, I will continue to mind my business." This is a sign that it's one of these things where it's clearly for American tourists in a country that's not the United States. So it's right outside of like a turtle enclosure. There's all these turtles, and one of them is laying on its back right in the middle. But there's a sign on the fence that has a picture of an upside down turtle, and it says, "Upside down turtles, no move," because lazy. And then it says, "So okay to leave alone."
No. Oh no.
It says it all, man. It's it right there. because lazy. Honestly, same upside down turtle.
Yeah.
So my last meme for round one. This is one of those. It's an article that's retweeted, and then the retweet is also retweeted. We're going to start with the article. It says, "Gen Z are employers' nightmare. My 20s put them to shame. Like most of my peers, I hustled at all hours for my career, a far cry from this minimum efforts generation and their, quote, lazy girl jobs," end quote. This is an article written by somebody named Sophia Money Couts.
Yep.
The Jazz Dad retweets this article and says, "Sophia, the daughter of Crispin James Allen Neville Money Couts, ninth Baron Latimer of the Couts family, who founded the private bank, and granddaughter of Bill Deeds, former editor of the Telegraph, hustled all hours to build her career at the checks notes Telegraph."
By the way,
my favorite part is that G here retweets all this and just says, "Her name is literally Money." And sure enough, her surname is Money Couts.
I looked them up too. The Couts Bank is like the 7th largest bank in the world, and it's known as the Queen's Banker because all of their clients are Queen wealthy.
Billionaires, man. Can't live with them.
She was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. Silverfoot. I mean,
I really appreciated seeing seeing my joke hit Lorene. I was like, "Can't live with him," and she just sat there for a second, and I didn't say anything, and she just went, "Ha ha." He's not gonna say the second part. That's like a punchline by subtraction, is what that is. All right, that's all I got for round one. Kicking it over to Brain Damage.
Brain.
Thank you, Michael. Let's hope this works out the way I want it to. We're gonna get our Eclipse stuffs out the way, and I found this meme after I posted my Eclipse gum. I posted Happy Eclipse Day, and I posted a pack of Eclipse gum. This one says homemade Eclipse glasses, and it has a man with 2 packs of Eclipse gum cut out, and there are Eclipse gum like glasses. It's one in between for the holder, and they're on the side of his face for to hold the ears. It is amazing.
That's
This is
wild.
a man who is dedicated to
Is
a
that
joke.
Ray Mullins?
Yeah, well, it checks out.
Nice. All right, and then here we go. We have a 4-panel, and this is Larry Smooth, and here we have the sun and the moon, and then second panel they're starting to pass through. Why is this thing in my way? Anyways, what? Can I just get rid of this? There we go. Sorry about that. And then they're passing through, and in the third panel there's the eclipse, and the fourth panel we have a bunny rabbit looking up, and we see that the sun and the moon are satisfied, smoking a cigarette. Cigarettes. And then here, this is my last one for eclipses. I have Ron Kelly posted slowest photo bomb ever, and it says, "What really happens during a solar eclipse?" And it has the sun. He looks like, oh, and then the Earth is has a skirt on and some red heels, and she's taking a picture. And the moon is jumping in front of the sun. It says photo bomb.
I
Damn.
like it.
All right,
I like it.
hopefully this works the way I wanted to. Let's see. All right, so then we're gonna go to this one, and this got this is a woman coming downstairs, and outside there are three stooges messing around and on the ladder and trying to paint. And it says our protagonist is about to check on the progress of her remodelers in the scene from the classic film. Leona Helmsley meets the Three Stooges. I have no idea who Leona Helmsley is. I just wanted to do that because I had seen that Diane had posted Lenin cartoons, and it has 3 Alamos, one with a bowl haircut on, one with a curly wig, and it says the bowl haircut says Alamo, the curly wig says Ala Larry, and then the bald it says Ala Curly.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, and then so sorry about that. And then all right, so here we have a monster sneaking through the window, and a dog is thinking, "Whoa, maybe I'll just pass on my usual barking frenzy." We have a giant Berserko.com cartoon of what looks like a Greek god with a long beard and a cat in a hat. And there's a thing too on top of his lightning bolt that he's holding in his hand. He's standing on top of a mountain that says Dr. Zeus.
That's stupid.
Here we've got Dr. Frankenstein with his monster, and he's saying, "Curses, how long does it take Igor to go out and bring back a simple little brain anyways?" And then up the stairs, we notice Igor is dragging in a giant train with big ass eyeballs like, "What? Brain?" Here's one. I just wanted to put this in because I had a Wild E. Coyote theme a couple weeks back, and
Yeah.
this one has Wild E. Coyote opening a box from Tony Stark with a Wile E. Coyote Iron Man suit, and Roadrunner in the back is looking like, "What the fuck? What I do to Stark?" Here we have a old cartoon with a bunch of cavemen, and the first wheel, it's a stone wheel. It says early experiments in transportation, and one of the cavemen is strapped and tied to that wheel, and they're about to push it down a hill, and they're not thinking this one through. Oh man, this one funny memes says best funny memes of the day, and this one hits me hard because it's a 4-panel, and I literally was just eating some white cheddar popcorn before we got this started. So let's go through it. First one, we have 3 teeth, and it says, "Hey, popcorn kennel, you can't be here." And the kennel's wedging his way in between 2 of them. In the second panel, he says, "Narc." And in the third panel, here comes the tongue, and the colonel is looking like, "Oh no!" And in the fourth panel, the tongue is gone, and he says, "I live here now." Here we have viralistic, and there are a bunch of letters sitting at tables eating at an alphabet soup kitchen restaurant. And I think this thing is, what is it, a semicolon and an exclamation point, and the semicolon says, "I want to volunteer, but the staff is ignoring me." And the exclamation point said, "It's nothing personal. They just don't know how to use you." Here we have Batman. This is perfect. His 4-panel. He breaks out his batarang. He opens it up. Clang. He reaches back like it looks like he's gonna throw it, but then he scratches it back. Oh yeah. I've definitely done that before with quite a few things that are not batarangs, but I've never had a batarang, so I would have used it. This one is Bill Abbott's cartoons, and it has some old man checking the fridge, and there's a bunch of chickens in there playing cards. And he says, "Yes, I'm positive the eggs have gone beyond their expiration date." And this first chicken here has the exact same glasses he has.
Oh no. Oh.
Oh.
Here we have 3 cats sitting on the top of a fence, and it's Haley the cat. And the yellow cat says, "Come on, let's go tee stray dogs. Yo 9. And the blue cat in the middle says, "Yo 9. And the red cat on the end says, "You only live 9 times, duh."
Oh my god.
Here I have Nick's Crest or something like that, and there's 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, but it's called the 4 Horsemen of Procrastination. And we have napping, snacks, social media, minor chores.
Minor
Guys
chores.
on his computer looking like, which one shall I get into this time to not finish my project? Here we have who's posted Comics Found, and we have Godzilla at the bar, and he's telling the bartender, "Call that in Manhattan? Where are the screaming people?"
Why is there a piece of go back to that meme?
Which one?
Why is there a piece of cherry pie on the stool?
I've never noticed that. He's like, "I'm set. I'm tucking this for later."
What is happening, man? That's so weird.
The far side, we have a sandwich sitting there with a toothpick and an olive sticking out of it, and we have a pickle, bacon, and a chicken leg standing in line. And one of them, it looks like maybe the bacon or probably the pickle. I don't know, but the thing is aimed at the bacon. So it says, "I hate standing in line so long just to get into the club." You would let somebody in. Ding,
Yep.
ding.
Oh,
And then this is my buddy Mark. One of my brothers in life, Mark Anthony Scott, posted this the other day, and it's American Cultural something, and it is a gas station with the sign that says, "Has anyone tried unplugging the United States and plugging it back in?" And that's it for me. Handing it off to you, Eric. Taking it over.
Alrighty. Kicking it off. Got to follow up with my I guess this is the ostensibly wholesome round. But I got to follow up on Michael's post because Money Coots, that's what I'm gonna call it. Money Coots has a brother. Her brother is Drummond Money Coots, a magician and heir apparent to the Latmire barony. He has a Netflix show where he successfully completes the tricks of magicians who died to prove that he's better than them. He's literally Gob Bluth. They're the Bluths.
Unbelievable. That's unreal.
And my first question is, are those eyebrows tattooed?
Right.
All right. Moving on. Friend of the show, David Gill, reposts from Jason Blaha at Painfully Punny and Funny. Says, if you see someone wearing camouflage clothing, bump into them. It only takes a second of your time, and it makes them feel like it works. Next up, a message to MAGA Republicans. No, Joe Biden and Democrats did not cause the earthquake. I saw this captioned with, "It pains me that this has to be said, but." Next up, God, friend of the show, God says, Weird how the right thinks I'm sending quakes and eclipses because I'm mad, but they don't think I'm mad about the Antichrist selling Bibles.
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh yeah. Here's a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio embedded on the clouds, and it says, "Me trying to look at a rare solar eclipse, the sky." Hey, here's a headline that makes me warm and fuzzy inside for the wholesome ground. Green New Deal says for the first time ever, monthly solar generation has topped coal generation in Texas. Give it up.
Wow.
How great is that, right? And a friend of ours that's a Texan says, "Did you know anyone on solar power in Texas that lost power during the eclipse?" And I said, I was just about to say that thing doesn't happen, but then I remembered it is Texas.
You know when I read this, the first thing I thought was like, what a shitty day to be a CEO of a coal company in Texas. Like this is great for human beings, man. But if you're like the executive VP,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you just got completely fucking skull drug by like happy
Sun.
news.
Yeah, I know. By sunshine.
Yeah.
Hey, Snowflake, can you handle sunshine?
Just got completely fucking wrecked, man, by some solar panels. Jesus,
Yeah.
it's hard.
He's like looking over at the charts to see like if they're making any money off those truck boys that roll coal. You know that dumb.
There go his fucking smart goals for the year. like next year, my smart goal is to not get my ass kicked by the wind.
I love it. Let's look for that stat and run with that. Hey, this is from Major League Baseball, MLB, but apparently the Pirates will have a foot-long pierogi pot roast hot dog at home games this year. I'm like, oh,
Holy hell.
it's pierogies and cucumber on top of pot roast in a foot-long bun with a hot dog buried in there somewhere, I suppose. Oh, America. Hey, here's a post from Dr. Colleen. Dr. Colleen's got a snake, and it's looking right at you. But snakes definitely look a lot less scary if you make them a hat. He's a little knitted hat, a little elastic band. It makes him look like he's got little spiky ponytails. It's adorable. Kevin, so Kevin, who's not a friend but an acquaintance, met him, briefly. Got a cartoon from. Look, you don't care what his name is, okay?
It doesn't matter.
No. Has posted a cartoon from The Economist, and we have this gladiator type with a shield busting down the door of an office. Says, "Excuse me, is this disinformation?" And the man behind the desk says, "Down the hall." But the desk says, "The Office of Disinformation." Welcome to the Office of Disinformation. down the hall. And democracy is such a simp, it'll probably go, all right.
Listen, this guy's not a friend, okay?
Not a friend. No. Nope. Very bad.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
You know what? I think people understood disinformation as a word better when we said propaganda. I think people understood it more. But, oh well, we're about halfway through. Friend of the show, Andrew Teedy, posted a science joke. Says, "You matter unless you multiply yourself by the speed of light. Then you energy."
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. And then Nathan Mintz comments, "You have to multiply by the speed of light squared." And I was like, "Nathan Mintz, that might be the first actually that's ever made me laugh." And he said, "I mean, what's a nerd joke without an actually response?" Like, holy crap, now I gotta go find the appropriate XKCD to post here. Nerd humor. Friend of the show, Josh Neff, posts this lovely bit from Kaya Nova. Says, quote, "You're gonna be fine. You always are," unquote. Yes, I will be. But please allow me a moment to express and display my sadness and discomfort. I know it will get better, but I need to also be honest and say my spirit is temporarily heavy, and I don't want to hide that. Just a little PSA reminder there. Trey Eiler's comedy. If you're not following Trey Eiler's comedy, you are missing out. He has posted, man, pages that tag all their followers in a post are so annoying. Am I right? At followers. Tim Laffey responds with at highlight. I'm like, oh God. But I give him points for the first adorable use of that stupid feature. 3 left here. Joe at JoJo from Jers. And if you're not following that JoJo from Jers, you are missing out. She says, I feel like we haven't really sat with just how batshit crazy it is that a former president is selling Bibles. He is selling Bibles.
It's like I mean, we used to have jokes about Bible salesmen.
Yeah.
And it like because it's just such a ludicrous idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then this fucking former president. Like
yeah.
It would be bad anyway, but if it was Jimmy Carter, I'd be like, what's he doing?
Yeah, right.
You
It'd be like,
I mean?
well, because then the money would be going to something. It would be going to something.
100% of it would go to Habitat for Humanity or something. Exactly.
God. All right, got about 2 more left and handing it back to you here. This one got a lot of traction. It just has a lovely picture of a library at night. And lots of people reading and enjoying themselves and sitting around with some beverages. And it says, Aaron Glass, at Aaron Rose Glass, what if public libraries were open late every night and we could engage in public life there instead of having to choose between drinking at the bar and domestic isolation? And a lot of people resonated with this, but immediately Aaron Gupta was like, why not also have them have a bar? And I'm like a surprisingly large number of librarians are with you on this, Arun.
Yeah. Every university library is a bar.
You know, any place is a bar if you get a flask. Anyway, but what if public libraries were open late every night and we could engage in public life there instead of having to choose between drinking at the bar and domestic isolation? And Paul says public librarians be like, okay, but how much Narcan will we need to be have around? It's funny because it's funny because it's true. And finally, we have here just one of these classical memes. I guess it's music. What does it say? Mike's Musical Memories from the UK. And it's one of these classical paintings of people wearing knickers, but royalty, frilly clothes and whatnot. And you see one man in the center, and all eyes are on him, and he says, "My biggest regret in life is that I rocked down to Electric Avenue, but I never took it higher." I never took it higher, and it haunts me. And that was a super wholesome conclusion to my wholesome round 1. Back to you, Michael, for the interludinal round, the interstitial.
Here we come with the
irreverent
interstellar.
The interstellar. Yeah.
Here we go.
The ill-defined round.
This is the irrelevant round.
Oh.
Allison Leiby, friend of the show, Allison Leiby says, if you have a cat, does it think you are its mom, its friend, or the government? This is my second cat meme. This one's coming to you from at Made by Tio. And the 4 panels here. First panel is just some guy sleeping and drooling, just knocked out in bed, and it's 3:08 a.m. The next panel looks like a scene from manga. It's a cat. It's a cat that's super muscular and like running on its hind legs, and it's ripped like Naruto running. Kind of looks like Batman. The third panel, this cat is just full blown punching this guy right in the face. And in the final panel, the cat is now just like a little cat. It's sprinting out the door, and the guy's awake, and he says, "The fuck?" Cody Johnston tweets out, "Stop telling young people voting is cool. It's not cool. It's just something you do. Calling your senator and telling them they can eat your entire ass? Now that's cool.
Yeah. My name is Eric Sizemore, and I support this message.
Dude, I used to call my congressman like every other day, and I would just leave these long messages, just ranting about whatever bullshit pissed me off at work that day. I'm not kidding. I I did it all the time. I was like,
Nice.
he was a Republican.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, fuck this guy, man.
Oh, I remember that guy. Oh, yeah.
I can't
Oh,
think of his name.
I can't think of it either. It was a funny name, though. It was a good one.
Yeah, he's still saved in my phone. I could find it. This is 4 pictures of Spock doing the like Vulcan mind meld where he just like spreads his fingers out on like the first panel, he's got his fingers spread out of this woman's face. The next panel, he's got one hand on her neck, on a different woman's neck, and he's got his fingers placed all weird on her face. Third panel, both hands on some guy who's looking up. And the fourth panel, I can't even see what he's touching there. Is it a wall? Anyway, he's spreading his fingers out and looking really serious, and it just says over the top of it, "Me in the produce section." He's so focused. All right. I think this is I think I have 2 more memes for this round. This one's coming to you from Trash Can Paul, friend of the universe, friend of mine, hell, friend of the show.
Yeah.
And it's got a picture of this kind of like rolling hills and really, really pretty green grass and some flowers, some white flowers, and there's perfect like Simpsons opener clouds and a rainbow in the distance. It's just so idyllic. And it says, "How I see the world after cracking my knuckles." And my final meme for this round is an eclipse. Meme. This one it's just a picture of the eclipse. Somebody that like we've all seen 100 of today. And this one is it's across the top of it. It just says, "How do I make this about me? How do I make this celestial?"
It's like you're reading my
celestial
mind.
phenomenon be about Michael. That's all I got for round 2. Back to brain damage.
All right. I feel like shit because I feel like when TD said he needed the week off, Eric said last week, "Oh yeah, you can add a few memes to your round," and Michael's coming out here and doing like 4 per round now. Yeah, man, I gotta burn through these things. That means Michael's gotta go. Right. We're just gonna say "Hail Satan" because this is a meme of hell. We have a devil with a whip in a red dress, devil with a whip in a black dress, and they're whipping everybody and all the old people in line. They're getting their coffee and they're waiting in line. And one guy's got the Where's Waldo on, and he's saying, "Oh man, even the coffee's cold. They've thought of everything." Here we have same style of cartoon, and it's a 1 panel. We have a couple eating dinner. The dog is pointing a gun at the man, and he says, "Hey, Bucko, I'm through begging." Here we have a 1 panel. We have a broken bridge. There's a guy jumping, yelling, "Stop!" There's another guy pointing, "Hey!" Across the bridge, there's a guy nonchalantly not paying attention that he's about to found. And he's thinking, "What's that sound? Crack." And then a woman on the next level down, she's pointing and saying, "Everybody look what's going down." There's something happening here for what it's
Oh
worth.
my god.
That tells me that is part of the song. I wish
That's
I
a
knew how to
song.
sing it.
That's yeah.
Stop. Hey, what's that sound?
Now,
Everybody
everybody
knows
look
what's
what's going down. That's a great one.
Well, how do you say there's something here worth in?
I told you it's at the beginning of the song.
Oh yeah, I should have said
Stop.
that.
Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Here we have a what looks to me, I could be typecasting. I don't know. I'm gonna say a French guy asking an American waiter that's fat with some hair coming out of his backside. And the French guy saying, "How come there is hair in my soup when you're bald?"
that
I butchered that French accent. But
was great.
It was good enough for the French.
And here we have, I'm pretty sure this is Bizarro. And there's a pinata with a bat, and there are children running scared everywhere. And there's one beat down on the floor with his birthday hat on, and he is laid out. His blindfold. He's like, and pinata's like, "Yeah, I told you, motherfucker." All right. Here we have Trash is my middle name. And they say, "Life gave me gremlemons." And it says, the lemons life gave me. And it is a lemon that has stayed on the tree for way too long. It has rotted. It's split open. And it looks like there is an eye from a wormhole there. But the way it's split open also looks like a mouth and some venom fangs there. And yes, the life that lemons gave me. Here we have friend of the show, Corey Showtime Robinson, reposting the dad.
Oh,
says,
Corey. Yeah.
"I'm stuck on level 2. It's so hard as hell. May need a map walkthrough." So here we have the dad parents character evolution. Here we have level 1 pre-kids, energy 98, fulfillment 12, experience 2, attack, pulling an all-nighter, weakness, actual responsibility. And we have level 2 having a baby, 0 energy, fulfillment 15. Oh, level 1, sorry. No experience. The attack is the swaddle, and weakness is crying so much. Level 2 now is toddler. Still no energy or experience. A little bit of fulfillment. Attack is timeout. Weakness, adorable begging. Level 3, elementary. Energies, we're getting back there. We got 35, fulfillment 16. Experience we're getting. Attack is because I said so. No, that attack never worked. Spoiler alert. Weakness is unrelenting question. That's exactly what that attack gets. Okay, that's why that's the counter. Level 4 is the teenager, and your attack is grounded for life. Weakness is dating and driving, and then here in level 5, this man has grown an old and gray beard, and again back to no energy. And fulfillment and experience is all the way up. Attack is told you so. Weakness, now the grandbaby. Here we have Comic Craze has a 3-panel. Here we have someone drop this phone. "Oh no, my phone! Please, no crack, no crack!" And then here he picks up his phone, and the phone is smoking crack, and he says,
I learned it from watching you. Oh my God.
We have old classic cartoons. It says, "I would laugh way too hard at this." We have you're gonna have to help me out with these Disney princesses.
Jasmine's on the left, Cinderella's on the right.
Okay, Jasmine says, "Very rich, but somehow ends up dating a crackhead thief. Actually marries a crackhead thief. What you doing, girl?" Laugh my ass off. Cinderella. Is that Cinderella?
Yes.
Okay. Bullied so badly she started talking to mice. Wore stripper ears to formal events, and married sociopath who likes feet. Here we have the brown girl, who's this Pocahontas.
Yes.
And she prevented her father from killing a violent colonizer. Donald Trump wouldn't be a thing if she minded her business. And then we have, who's this girl with the brown hair?
Belle.
Sweet and poor, so traumatized by "Where My Hug at Gaston" that she falls in love with an animal. Talks to IKEA dishes. Here we have a 2-panel by the Winds of Winter, and it says "Gender reveal parties in the U.S." and it has a dragon roaring its pink fire everywhere. And it says "Gender parties in Europe," and it has Tywin Lannister, and he said, "This one's a girl," and it's when he's pointing out that Arya is cupbearers and portraying B. a boy and she's really a girl.
Mhm.
All right, here we have 2 panel by Xenomorph fan page, and we have what's the little baby Simpsons name?
Maggie.
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 Staring at the alien with the alien mouth coming out, and then she has one of those lollipop pacifiers in her mouth, and then in the second panel, all of a sudden she puts it in the alien's mouth. Oh my god!
I saw that one.
Nice. Here we have funny memes. It says dumbass photoshops. It says he rules coming out world with a flaming fury. And it has Diddy's face pasted over Liu Kang, or actually Shang Tsung from the first movie Mortal Kombat. And it says your whole is mine. Jesus, son of your soul is mine.
Mhm. Mhm.
Here we have head scratching West. I don't even know what that says. It has Forrest Whitaker. It says when they ask you what the difference is, and his right eye has sativa, it's wide open, and his left eye has indica, and it is closed. And yeah, I just wanted to do 2 Mortal Kombat themes in one. Stinking pile of memes has Mike Tyson now posted over Shang Tsung, and it says, "Your soul belongs to me," and he is Shang Tsung. And here's my last one. We got the Devil's Playground, and it has it has a picture of a Mountain Dew, a crying face meme. Puff Daddy. Is that Joe Biden?
Yep.
Puff
Mhm.
Daddy again, and then another Mountain Dew. And at the top it says, "There she was, just walking down the street singing do. Why diddy, diddy do."
Oh, 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 man.
And that's it for me, for you, Eric.
Lovely. Lovely. Sliding into round 2, the irreverent round, kicking it off with post from founding Zaddy George H. Cruikshank
No,
on Facebook for
we
the
don't
line.
do that.
With this post that's captioned, "Jesus, literally no rich person will ever go to heaven. Evangelical Christians chilling at the beach. You got a guy in a beard. He says, disregard that. It's a bunch of liberal bullshit." From the political atheist. If you're not following a political atheist, you are missing out on some political atheism. And yeah, if you ever find yourself in a conversation with evangelical Christians and they start talking about, Jesus and all, I always like to say, "Hey, remind me, what did Jesus say about the gays?" I'll give you a hint that he didn't say anything. And he knew full well about it. Or like, "Hey, what did he say about abortion?" I'll give you a hint. And then you say something like, "I kind of feel like if it was important as you guys seem to think it is, he would have said something about it."
It's like they do have to hold it as at least a strange omission, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. It's like, because he was real clear with the rich guys.
I think they just feel like well,
Yeah.
he couldn't
Yeah.
name everything.
It's so funny. All
I'm
right,
not endorsing that. I'm saying I think that's the mental gymnastics it requires.
you can see though that there has been a trend over time. You know what I mean? He's the king of peace or prince of peace, to begin with, and then over time people are like, "Well, that's kind of wussy, man. Can't we give him abs?"
Right.
What if he was like less woke and more like ripped? Wouldn't that be cool?
That liberal Jesus doesn't even lift.
Yeah,
Republican
bro.
Jesus is where it's at, dude.
Totally, man. I just stop teaching that woke part of the Bible. Teach the other part. All right, moving on. Speaking of people that are very confused about religion, Marjorie Taylor Greene has posted her boyfriend saying the eclipse is a signal that evil is destroying America. So that was posted in the National Strategic Stockpile of Memes and Satire because Q Conspiracy Queen MTG found her perfect mate, a guy who's just as crazy as she is. Took 3 affairs, but she found her boy. And he thinks that the eclipse is a signal, a signal, which is so weird because I feel like in communications, you send a signal like, like you make a phone call. It's not like an alarm on a clock that goes off on a regular basis, regardless. No one's trying to communicate. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just out there. So Ron Atviser has some helpful tips for the safe eclipse viewing experience. The people of Tennessee may have the best view, but will also be the first to be sacrificed. Animals may behave strangely. If your dog talks like a man, heed its dire warning. Don't trust the squirrel with the child's face. It speaks only lies. When your double arrives, resist the inclination to fight it. It may be stronger than you. Chances are it will disappear after the eclipse. Be careful it doesn't switch places. It will be a few decades before you get the chance to come back. If you stare into the void and it blinks first, you win. But the prize is insanity. Werewolves are not only impossible to kill during an eclipse, but they have become super werewolves. Whatever you do, don't buy any weird plants. We don't want a repeat of last time. Apophis, the moon serpent, may try to eat you. Let him. If once upon a time you were falling in love, but now you're only falling apart, there's nothing you can do. This is a different type of eclipse. See, this was the kind of advice I needed. Staring at this coverage map for a week. I got this burned into my head. Did you guys do the New York Times climate maps? Burned into my head looking at Indianapolis here, and it just said 20 to 40% cloud coverage, 20 to 40% cloud coverage. What I really needed was this guy that said, did you know that 7 entities are in the sky at the same time? I mean, I guess they're in the sky at the same time, but you could see them around the eclipse. Mercury, the sun, the moon, of course, Venus, Neptune, Saturn, and Mars. And I did see Venus, but I didn't realize what I was looking at because, NASA's James Webb Space Telescope mission didn't get to me in time with their stupid Facebook posts. Thanks, NASA's James Webb Space Telescope mission. Anyway, it was really cool. I don't know if you guys saw it in the other parts of the country, but in Southern Illinois, we did see this red bead on the bottom, and it was mind-blowing. I was like, what is that UFO? It's the aliens coming to talk to us, but it turns out it's just a prominence. You could even see it from Terre Haute. So I don't know. Michael, did you see this over in Indiana?
Yeah.
The red boat. Wasn't that crazy? It's absolutely insane. Anyway, so some really, really excellent shots of this stuff. The red prominences were the best. And also all the posts, because I had to Google what was that red bump on the bottom. And then I saw these people going, it was a solar flare. And people were like, actually, it's a solar prominence. Like anybody, these guys had known that a week ago. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey posted this, and I thought this is fantastic. Once in a lifetime, Tabitha Hansen, 2024, this shot of the eclipse with a jet going right through the radiance. I don't know, the crown, whatever you call the halo. Yeah, that's pretty stinking cool, man. I thought that was pretty good. Corey Showtime Robinson posts this little PSA. Says, I keep telling people about this. The news. Google searches for eyes hurt spike during solar eclipse. Eyes hurt. IGN says, additionally, my eyes, all caps, trended on Twitter. My eyes. I don't know exactly where this took place, but this is a booking of the Airbnbs. And I'm just going to say that's probably it. Did you guys see this? Airbnb's booked. It's just in the arc, just all red all the way across it.
Wow.
And I bet that's where people are Googling eyes hurt. My eyes. Right in there. And I thought it was pretty fun. Comedian Bob Lament of Chicago said, apparently people in Canada and Mexico have no interest in the eclipse. Just some more. It was so freaking cool. I really did. I felt excellent. Here is the
Ooh.
eclipse from the ISS. So we see the blotted out sun, but look at that enormous. You also can see the curvature of the Earth and just the shadow going down there. And I believe that's the
Wow.
Milky Way in the background there.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
just tremendous. I thought that was pretty cool. Here is a NASA shot from the South Pacific where we can see it almost like a sunset, but sort of like a diamond ring sunset type of. It's I don't even know. I'm amazed what's going on here, but I thought these were all really great shots. Here's the dumbest shot. The New York Times says you can see the total solar eclipse's shadow from space. So I thought this would be kind of cool and went here to see a shadow cross the Earth. And it was right around the time the page started loading. I realized this is the dumbest angle for an eclipse there is. It's like, not even going to do it. Friend of the show, Matt, has posted this picture. He says, enjoying the eclipse with my children. And there's this kid with her glasses on looking at the sun. And there's Grogu with glasses on. Baby Yoda. Kind of brought that for TD. Friend of the show, Jason Davis says, nothing like driving 7.5 hours round trip just to watch something that takes 4 minutes. Ha 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 ha. A lot of people talking about that. And I said, man, a lot of long distance booty calls end up with something shorter than 4 minutes. So now this next one, this is my last one for the set, but I wanted to let you know that this post went against the Facebook community standards on bullying and harassment. So
Yeah.
full disclosure, but apparently I am a bully. And this is my last one for the round. This is a picture of Trump as the distracted boyfriend, and he is looking at Putin, but Hitler's going, hey. I don't know if I'm bullying Hitler. That was my irreverent round two, ending on a Hitler joke.
Thanks, Eric.
That you were bullying the reviewer who was a Trump fan.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Maybe Putin.
All right, I'm kicking off round 3, the penultimate round with Trash Can Paul. It's a picture of a
Hey.
goldfish, and it says in impact font, I had a goldfish that could break dance on the carpet, but only for like 20 seconds. And only once. Next one comes from friend of the show, As Bill Memes It. Here we see a text conversation, and the first person says, I've been anxious all week too. Must be something to do with the moon. And the other person says, or like our substance abuse issues. And the first person says, no, yeah, that makes more sense. I love this. This is a picture of a Waffle House, and directly over the Waffle House, we have just a really beautiful picture of the eclipse through the clouds.
That's awesome.
And EE Visu says, put this next to the Mona Lisa. Oh, here we have Mammoth Cave National Park, Mammoth Cave NP, friend of the show, at Mammoth Cave NP. And they say this was our view of the solar eclipse from inside the Mammoth Cave. It is just a black picture.
Nice.
Because they're in a cave.
Yeah.
Next, we have Tim Armour, friend of the show, Tim Armour. And here he's taking a picture of a flyer that's on like a light pole or something. And it says, are you ready for the rapture? Jesus is coming on April 8th, 2024. And then there's scriptures and a picture of a cross with like smoke coming out of it. I don't know. Tim says, I think this is my 10th rapture. Does that mean that my next rapture is free?
And
I think this is my last one for this round. It comes from Scott Barber at the Scott Barber. It's a picture of the eclipse, and it says, with the halo around it, and it says, but they were all of them deceived, for another ring was made. And that's it for round 3, the penultimate round, leaving only my post with the most. Back to you, Brain Damage.
that bird
Yep.
flashes.
Yeah, it did.
Guys,
And I still don't know what the fuck a penultimate is, but I heard it on Traders earlier. I don't know what the fuck I did, huh? All right, here we go. I got it together. So here we have a 3-panel. We have a guy standing outside a well. He's tossing some coins in. He's standing next to a rooster. And here in the second panel, all of a sudden that rooster is gigantic. He looks over. In the third panel, he looks down at the well. He says, "That's not what I meant." Wonder if there's another word for rooster. Here we have a Scottish guy picking some pears and a woman climbing the ladder behind him. And she says, "Aren't you afraid of wasps with a lovely pear like that?" But she is definitely looking up his kilt and not at his fresh tree of pears here. So, which lovely pear is she wondering about? And here we have a boss walking into the office, and the guy is looking over, and he says, "Oh, great! Here comes my boss, that big dumb geek. I hate him so." And the boss says, "Oh yeah, Lewis, you're fired. You apparently forgot this is a cartoon. I can read every word you think." All right, and here we have Dr. Cornwallis opening the door. We have a Secretary Corn in the background looking all surprised, and Dr. Corn has a patient Corn that's upside down with some corn skewers stuck in his bum. And Dr. Corn says, "Some days I just don't get paid enough." And the patient is upside down saying, "Yeah, I don't need to hear this shit now." Here we have a blonde woman, and she is running with some regular Elmer's glue, and she says, "Oh no, it's my ex-boyfriend! Run, Elmer, run!" And we have a tube of crazy goo kicking it. This is by Sunny Street.
Crazy.
Crazy. Look at how mad he is. Look at how mad he is at mine. Here we have the Far Side, and they have Moses splitting the Red Sea and all his followers. And there is a mobster-looking dude, and he says, "Well, that was lucky," and he has cement on his feet, and it was definitely his lucky day. How did he survive long? He has some good breath, though. He has some good breath. It's
That's
not
a
a
good one.
joke. It's a. We have Merle at Merrill Bean says, "Expecting parents, please, I beg you, please look at where your child's name will be spelled backwards. Sincerely, Anoram. I mean Marlana."
Damn. Wow.
Oh, God. We have it's not a joke. It's a we have a woman doing an interview with a man, and she says, "I have 3 openings," and he says, "I know." And she looks at him like, "Motherfucker, what?"
Wow. We're gonna get letters.
Yeah. This toddler public. She ratchet means this preposterous. I wanted to put this one with the. Anyways, it says, "When you spend months training for cockfighting, the referee asks, 'Where's your rooster at?' And it has.
Yeah, built up this callus for nothing.
Funny and Laughable has a bunch of old people at an old folks' home playing Twister, and all of a sudden Margaret's telling Ethel, "Hey, that's cheating. Nah, that's gotta be hands or feet, because Ethel's boobs are touching yellow."
Oh my God.
They have Funny and Laughable again. We have Bring Your Mentor Day, and we have a kid with his mentor, and we have a grown man with a minotaur, and he said, "Oh, must have misread the email.
We've all been there.
I double tap that has a half buried man with his head in the sand like an ostrich with a shovel there. I think that's a hoe. I don't know. It says me risking my life every day trying to hunt memes for you ungrateful peasants so I can keep you happy.
I'm here, bud.
Yep.
This is my homie Jonathan Light reposting the MMA community 4-panel. It shows $500 for a ticket to the UFC, and you watching little fights on the cage you barely see. $3 for a ticket to the NYC sub, and you can watch fights right up close.
Front row.
Still works for us at Bart too.
Mhm.
I don't know how to pronounce this one. Is this Trucking's Devon?
Trucking's Devon, sure.
What, buddy?
Trucking's Devon.
Yeah.
We have some onions here, and one of them's got some weeds growing underneath, and one of them tells him, "Hey man, you ever heard of garlic scope?
Escape.
Garlic scape?" And the other one's like, "Yo, trim that shit." And he's got these weeds, and I call them onions. I guess they're garlics.
Yeah.
That's how high I am. He'd be happy.
I never thought of my garlics as being metro, but they are.
And here, I'm gonna end on this one. We got the far side has Abe Lincoln in bed with his wife, and she's knitting. He's reading a book, and she says, "Wouldn't it kill you to take me to a show once in a while?"
Traditionally, when you tell a Lincoln joke that doesn't work, Brain, you say, too soon? Ah, fuck. All right. Penultimate round. Una segundo, queridos.
What that means?
Oh my God. Here we go. Yes. All right, you got me. Here we have from friend of the show and founding Zaddy, George H. Cruikshank, three panel of Calvin and Hobbes, and I just captioned it from the mouths of babes because Calvin is reading the newspaper along with Hobbes. He says, these are interesting times. We don't trust the government. We don't trust the legal system. We don't trust the media, and we don't trust each other. We've undermined all authority, and with it, the basis for replacing it. Interesting is a mild way of putting it, Hobbes says. He says, it's like a 6-year-old's dream come true. All authority. Anyway, I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good. I think this might be the official cartoon of Facebook for the Blind. All right, moving on. Here we just have from the National Strategic Stockpile of Memes and Satire, a woman confronting Mike Lindell, the pillow guy, a KKK member, a guy with a tinfoil hat, some kind of Confederate and some kind of fucking Nazi. And the Nazi and the Confederate are both packing AR-15s. The woman says, you may consider it cancel culture, but it's well past time your cultures were canceled. Not funny so much as just, yeah. Kyle Khrushchev, Kyle Kashuv, whatever, who is a right-winger, by the way, is posting this picture. It says, this, unironically, is where we are all headed. And you see a credit card machine, and it says, card declined. Please delete all tweets that violate your bank's hate speech policies to process this payment. And then we have a another panel below that, and it's the Terminator hunting a little girl hiding under the desk. And the Terminator is labeled their own imaginations. And the scared little girl is right-wingers. I'm not going to be able to use my credit card because of tweet things about the guy. Anyway. This next one is from, I don't know who this is, but just a meme in the wild. It says, universities are funny. Hey, what if we took a medieval institution for training priests and aristocrats and combined it with a hedge fund, sports franchise, and resort for teenagers? Oh, and it'll be the backbone for fundamental research for our entire civilization. Too soon? Okay. Give a shift about nature says, quote, millennials aren't buying diamonds. Why? Answer: it's because we're busy filling out job applications where you attach your resume and then enter what's on your resume on the next page.
Yes, exactly. Oh my god.
I know. Look at this. It's like 22 people, liked it, 4 comments, a share. Everyone resonated with this. Yes. What the hell is wrong with you? Businesses are crap. Friend of the show, John Palvovitz says, in your own words, how would you describe libertarians? And John Spalding responds, house cats. They are convinced of their fierce independence while utterly dependent on a system they don't appreciate or understand. I don't know if you've known any libertarians, but it's true.
Exactly.
They, them comments, this is perfect. Victims of Psychedelic Class Warfare and MK Ultra Shitposting Memorial Fund. And if you're not following the Victims of Psychedelic Class Warfare and MK Ultra Shitposting Memorial Fund, then where are you getting your Psychedelic Class Warfare and MK Ultra Shitposting memes? I ask you, in all seriousness. Post from Caitlin Johnstone, who says, I invented an arcade game with a robotic boxing glove and 2 buttons. If you push the red button, it punches you in the face. And if you punch the blue one, it punches you in the face while telling you the red one would have punched you a bit harder. No one played it for some reason. No, just me. That was posted by, this is why Bernie Sanders wanted to send us all to college for free. So maybe I should have worked on that. Is this thing on? Angry Staffer at angry_staffer posted this, and I just want to point this out. Jack Smith finally got fed up with the judge and wrote a letter to her, and she wrote a nasty letter back, and the whole thing's like a big tiff. And she quotes, or he, I don't know, Angry Staffer, what they say, Jack Smith casually coming through with the legalese flamethrower. And I just love that phrase, the legalese flamethrower. Long before.
Yeah, that was dope.
Very happy about it. Steve Cruchell has posted this picture of a man looking kind of frustrated, an old school painting of a man leaning over a table, reading a book, looking kind of tired. It says, as I watch this generation try to rewrite history, one thing I'm sure of, it will be misspelled and have no punctuation. Okay, not grammar Nazis in this crowd. Cool. So here's a picture of Don Jr. on Rumble making a speech. The left's new religion takes aim at Easter. He's declaring a war on Easter because the war on Christmas went so well. And Jr. here says Biden's Department of Justice has designated all Catholics as domestic terrorists, and banks are now required to report everyone to the FBI who buys a Bible. Yeah. The former president of Fox News commented, Don Jr. is pathetic, low IQ oaf who spews ridiculous lies to please his daddy. Yes, we're going to report everyone to the FBI who buys a Bible. How would you know that? Are you selling Bibles? Did the FBI call? Kiss my ass. Tax the rich with 4 X's at Gary says that, says vote Trump because America's top secrets don't just sell themselves. Okay. Marcellus Fauci, no relation, posts this 4-panel of sort of the Monopoly guy in a top hat, the rich guy. And he say with the monocle, and he says, poors wouldn't be poor if they'd stop buying things and saved. And Joe Schlub here says, okay, we won't buy things. Next 2 panels. Rich guy thinks about it. He says, oh, please buy things.
Yeah.
Yeah, punk. This one is from, let's see here, The Good, the Chad, and the Ugly at DGCNU. Says, for a long time when I'd read a comic with Lex Luthor in it, he'd be, I don't know, conspiring with a guy whose superpower is that he is mediocre at riddles, maybe Solomon Grundy or someone like that, in order to launch their army of poison turtles into Metropolis. And I'd scoff and say, it's unrealistic that the world's richest man would waste his time and money on something that's only going to showcase to the world how incompetent he is. I owe DC Comics an apology.
Oh my god, it's so true.
Here's a 3-panel from The Good Place, and man, I never know these characters' names, but the angel guy is saying to the girl, Someone nearly created a backdoor to the entire web today, which is true. And Blonde Girl says, yeah, but an engineer randomly debugging saw a 50 millisecond delay and saved us all. And the angel says, okay, but that's worse. And seriously, oh my God, my actually crowd, they speak Python and know Linux and all kinds of stuff. And you wouldn't believe this, but yeah, we were saved by just some random dude. Like from a guy who spent years infiltrating a company so he could plant things to seriously, craziness. Craziness. We live in stupid times. Here's a picture from Scientific Shitposting. I think, oh, Science Humor says when you see it. And it's just a typical office setup. We've got a keyboard, a phone. Phone looks like it's got a weird sort of scar across it. And then off to the right, you realize, oh, that's a magnifying glass in the pen holder. Oh, magnifying glass in front of the window. No, guys didn't. Yeah. Yeah, it's like his phone was an ant.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, this is when it's a good time to like think about, I don't know, physics. I thought it was fun. Elizabeth Lopez has shared this picture of a pineapple with pizza on it. And it says, oh, how the tables have turned. This was sent to me by my good friend Mike Barkley, and it is from Ancient Dungeons and Dragons players. And we've got a picture of Colonel Sanders, but he's ripped, and he is firing a chicken with blue flames coming from its tail. It says, I can't seem to find this spell. That is a statue of Colonel Sanders.
Is that what your dad was really like?
Well, they got the arms right. But
Just as Ryan.
yeah. For those who don't know, my dad is a professional chicken impersonator.
Just as Ryan. That's a Hadouken.
It's a Hadouken.
Hadouken.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Street Fighter.
From Street Fighter.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right, moving on. Friend of the show, Denatra, has posted this in Cover Band Central, and it's got a picture of 4 horses, and one has a name tag on that says, hello, I'm Silver. Another one is Trigger. Another one is Mr. Ed. And one is Blank. Hello, I'm Blank. It says, rumor has it he was the inspiration for a chart topper back in 1972. Yeah, Diane, that's what I was going for.
A horse with no name.
I was wanted to get those acoustics starting off. It's got that nice intro, just in case. But I was like, Diane, I'll get it. Friend of the show, John Doffing, has posted this from Noah Garfinkel saying, does anyone know of a good website where I can get a shirt and then also 2 emails every day of my life? That wraps up.
So true.
Post with the most. On to you, Michael, sir.
All right, here we go. Here comes my post with the most. Think you guys are gonna love it. My post with the most with this week comes from Jossie. He says 99 years of luck. You will never lack money for your trip and travels. And here is an AI generated. Well, Eric, how would you describe this?
I don't know, man. I don't even know what to tell you. I think you need therapy.
What it is a very small bird, like a finch.
A finch? Yeah, that was what I was thinking. Finch.
But with
enormous
like
balls.
Enormous human testicles.
Well, I don't know that I would say they're human because they're not in the same sack. They're individually wrapped. Perfectly
this week.
Look at
perfectly
I'm never
spherical
gonna
balls.
treat kiwis the same.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's wow.
It's a perfectly normal post with the most. What do you mean?
I'm gonna be thinking about that one. I'll tell you that. It's
All right. I'm gonna cheat a little bit since Eric, since you said
yeah,
the thing was an ant. I took this one out of the last round to cut this out. I have 2 ants. A summary execution. One is tied up and he has a cigarette in his mouth, and the other one is dressed in military gear, holding a magnifying glass and saying any last words. And my real post with the most is a gaming layer, and it's same pun says, well, now I had a vasectomy today. My wife got me some snacks. And here we have a bunch of snacks here, and she put signs over them so that it says it's Jack Slinks. Sorry about your tender balls, beef teriyaki steak. And no nut.
little Debbie no nuts.
Nutless buddy.
That's
For kids. Unlimited cream pie. Snacky snacks.
so wrong. Oh my god. I'm in pain. My post with the most is this picture. It's a pie chart. Pretty much just looks like 75% blue and 25% orange. Orange is labeled helium and the blue is labeled hydrogen. Says types of atoms in the universe. And it's captioned, atoms are binary. They are either intended to be hydrogen or helium. We can't just scrap this worldview just because of a handful of exceptions. Only 1% of atoms are non-binary other. That's my post with the most. Hey, wait, did all of our posts with the most have balls? I think they did. So
That's how we do it here at Facebook for the Blind.
that is what it takes to fully constitute a legally binding episode of Facebook for the Blind for April the 9th, 2024. We love you. Mwah.
Love you, George.
Thanks for listening to an episode of Facebook for the Blind. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.